this file. Now, if I want to access the recipes one, of course, I need to point to the folder and then the file name. So if I go here and if I say recipes, and then if I try to look for big, well, of course, that file is not there. That's why I get back the null. Just keep in mind that when we're talking about a relative path, we're already pointing to the images, correct? And then relative path just means, well, once we get to the images, relative to images, where do we want to go? And in this case, I want to go to the recipes. And then, of course, the file name is a recipe, for example, one, and I believe it was JPEG. So we run it. And now, of course, I get back that single recipe. And again, from here, once you get to that particular file, same thing. Again, you have all of these fields that you can choose. And of course, you can just do something with that data in your application. And since I promised you that I'll show you an example where we'll use this name property in our query, in this video, I'll set up another instance and we'll just set up the query using the arguments. Now, this video is not intended as a code long. If you don't want to, you can just sit back and relax. So at this point, I want to copy and paste. And since I have examples folder right next to the assets, well, I'll simply set up another instance pointing to the examples. As far as the name, I'm going to go with the same as the folder. And of course, I'm not looking in the assets. Now I'm looking in the examples like so. So we save it. And then, of course, we need to remember that we need to restart the server. So I'm going to go with npm and start. Now, once we navigate back, then I'm going to set up all file query one more time. So let me delete everything here. And then I'm going to look for total count. And you'll notice something interesting where now the total count is 14. Because now, of course, we have two instances. Not only we're sourcing the images, but we also have access to the examples. But if I want to do some work with examples, and if I don't want to deal with images, I simply need to add my argument. And in this case, I'm just going to say, you know what? Get me only the file whose source instance name is equal to examples. So we go to the filter, and then we keep scrolling, and this source instance name represents the name that you have in Gatsby config. So we go source instance name, we have more options again, and I'm just going to go with equals, and then I just need to type the same name. So I'm going to go with examples, and now, of course, once we run it, the total count is 5. And if you don't believe me, I can show you that if I take a look at the nodes, and then we keep